If you're watering your garden every day, you might actually be making it weaker. Summer gardening isn't about watering more, it's helping your plants survive the heat, the drought, and the stress that comes with it. Many gardeners think spring is the most important season for success. But in reality, the summer is where gardens are a win or lose. The decisions you make during the hottest months determine how long your flowers continue blooming, how productive your vegetables remain, and whether your shrubs stay healthy, and even how well your plants return next year. The mistake many gardeners make is assuming the plant needs the exact same care in July as it did in April. But plants change throughout the season. Understanding those changes is essential for keeping your landscape lush all season long. One of the biggest misconceptions about gardening is that more sunshine equals happier plants. While sunlight fuels photosynthesis, extreme summer heat is a whole different challenge. Every plant is consistently balancing essential jobs. The first is making food through photosynthesis, and the second is preventing itself from drying out. When temperatures climb into the high 20s or 30s, plants start to go into survival mode. Instead of focusing on producing flowers and new growth, they shift their energy towards conserving water. This is why some flowering plants seem to pause during the summer. The plant isn't dying, it's just merely protecting itself. You'll often notice flowers becoming smaller, growth slowing down, or older leaves yellowing as the plant redirects its resources. Some plants may even wilt during the hottest part of the afternoon despite having plenty of moisture in the soil. This surprises many gardeners, but temporary afternoon wilting doesn't always mean the plant needs water. As temperatures rise, plants lose water through tiny openings in their leaves called stomata. When water is being lost faster than the roots can replace it, leaves temporarily lose pressure and begin to droop. If the soil is moist and the plant recovers by evening, it's a simple, natural response to the heat. Watering again in that moment can actually do more harm than good by keeping the soil constantly saturated. And that's why it's worth checking the soil before reaching for the hose. A healthy garden isn't about watering more, it's about watering smarter. If there's one habit that separates experienced gardeners from beginners, it is how they water. Many people water every day, but they only wet the first inch or two of the soil. The problem is that shallow watering encourages shallow roots. Plants quickly learn that moisture only exists near the surface, so they stop sending roots deeper into the ground. Unfortunately, the soil surface is also the first place to dry out during hot weather. That creates a cycle where plants become increasingly dependent on frequent watering. Instead, aim for deep, thorough watering, but less often. When you water deeply, moisture travels further into the soil, encouraging roots to grow downward in search of it. Those deeper roots stay cooler, remaining moist longer, and make plants much more resilient during heat waves. For most established garden beds, watering deeply 1 or 2 times per week is often far better than lightly watering every single day. Of course, weather, soil type, and plant selection will change your frequency of watering. A newly planted shrub will need more frequent watering than an established one. Another excellent habit is watering early in the morning. Morning watering allows moisture to soak deeply into the soil before temperatures rise. It also gives the leaves time to dry quickly, reducing the risk of fungal diseases such as powdery mildew and black spot. Whenever possible, water the soil rather than spraying the entire plant. Leaves don't absorb much water, the roots do. Keeping the foliage dry while thoroughly soaking the soil is one of the best watering habits that you can get into. Gardening is always way more fun when we're learning together. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button to follow us for our weekly videos where we give you great gardening advice all the time. Many gardeners think mulch is simply decorative, but in reality, it's doing many jobs all at once. A layer of mulch acts like a blanket over the soil. It shades the surface, keeping the root temperatures much cooler during hot afternoons. Without mulch, the sun can heat exposed soil to temperatures that stress roots and dramatically increase evaporation. Mulch slows that water loss, which means that the moisture stays available a lot longer. As organic mulches slowly break down, they also improve soil structure and feed beneficial organisms living in the ground. Materials like shredded bark, arborist wood chips, compost, leaf mold, or partially decomposed leaves all make excellent mulches. Around vegetable gardens, straw is another popular option because it keeps fruits like strawberries peppers, cucumbers, and squash cleaner while helping the soil retain moisture. One important note is to make sure that when you're using mulch to remove it from an inch or two of the trunk of the tree or shrubs, and make sure that it stays an inch or two away from the crowns of any of your perennials. Piling the moisture close to the stems and trunks of trees can trap moisture where we don't want it, which can cause fungus, rot, rodents, insects, you name it. Spring often gets all of the attention when it comes to fertilizer. By midsummer, the plants have used much of the nutrients that are available in the soil. However, it's important to note that not every plant needs to be fertilized the same way. Flowering annuals, hanging baskets, and containers are some of the hungriest plants in the garden. Because they're growing in limited amounts of soil, the nutrients will deplete faster every time you water. These plants often benefit from regular feeding with a balanced, water-soluble fertilizer every 1 to 2 weeks following the label instructions. Perennials generally require much less feeding. Too much fertilizer can actually encourage excessive leafy growth at the expense of flowers. Often, an application of compost in the spring, followed by a light feeding midsummer, should the plant slow its growth, is all they need. Vegetables vary depending on crop. Leafy vegetables such as lettuce, kale, and Swiss chard appreciate a steady supply of nitrogen to support healthy foliage. Tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, and squash benefit from a balanced nutrition early in the season, then fertilizers with a slightly higher phosphorus and potassium once flowering and fruit production begin. Roses are among the heaviest feeders in the ornamental garden. Because they bloom repeatedly for months, they benefit from regular fertilizing throughout the growing season. Most gardeners feed roses every 4 to 6 weeks until late summer, then stop to allow new growth to harden before winter. One of the easiest ways to know if your plant actually needs fertilizer is just simply observing them. Healthy green foliage, steady growth, and abundant flowering usually indicate everything is working just fine. If plants suddenly become pale, the growth slows dramatically, or flowering declines despite good watering, nutrients may be running low. One of the easiest ways keeping your summer garden full and beautiful is simply deadheading when there are spent blooms. When a plant begins producing seeds, it naturally starts redirecting energy away from making new flowers. By removing spent blooms, you encourage many plants to put that energy into producing another flush of flowers instead. This is especially helpful for roses, dahlias, zinnias, petunias, salvias, coreopsis, and many other repeat blooming plants. A few minutes removing spent blooms each week can make a huge difference in how vibrant your garden looks throughout the summer. Some flowers, however, don't need deadheading at all. Many modern begonias, impatiens, lobelia, and some newer petunia varieties are self-cleaning, meaning they naturally drop their old flowers and continue blooming without much help. Knowing which plants will benefit from deadheading will save you a lot of unnecessary work. At Wildwood Outdoor Living, we're here to help you find the perfect tools that you need to help you build a beautiful space that fits your lifestyle. Visit us in-store for expert advice on plants, gardening tools, mulch, you name it, we've got it in store. If you feel more comfortable shopping at home, visit us at wildwoodexpress.com for your online shopping convenience. One of the easiest ways to keep your garden thriving is choosing plants that naturally love summer. Instead of constantly replacing tired flowers, fill your landscape with varieties that actually perform better as temperatures rise. For sunny perennial beds, some of the best performers include Echinacea, Rudbeckia, Salvia, Agastache, Yarrow, Coreopsis, Gaillardia, and Shasta daisy. These plants tolerate heat well, attract pollinators, and can bloom continuously throughout the summer months. For annual color, it's hard to beat zinnias, cosmos, verbena, petunia, osteospermum, geraniums, and million bells. Many of these will continue flowering until first frost with the right deadheading and fertilizer. If you're looking for shrubs that truly steal the show, then hydrangeas are a great choice. Pinnacle hydrangea, smooth hydrangea, and many blooming big leaf hydrangeas provide months of spectacular flowers. Roses, especially floribundas, and modern shrub roses continue producing flowers throughout the season with regular feeding and deadheading. Don't overlook ornamental grasses either. Varieties like feather reed grass, Japanese forest grass, blue fescue, switchgrass, and fountain grass add movement, texture, and structure long after many flowers begin fading. There are a few common mistakes that can quickly undo all of your hard work during the summer heat. And one of those big mistakes is moving plants during a heat wave. Even if a plant is technically easy to transplant, moving it during a heat wave puts enormous stress on the root system. When a plant is dug up, many of its fine feeder roots are disturbed. Those roots are responsible for absorbing water, and until the plant establishes again, it struggles to keep up with summer temperatures. If you need to move a plant, early spring or fall is usually a much better time because cooler temperatures reduce stress while roots have time to grow. Another common mistake is cutting plants back too aggressively in summer. It can be tempting to remove every imperfect leaf or trim plants into a perfect shape, but leaves are the plant's solar panels. They capture sunlight and produce the energy needed for growth. Removing too much healthy foliage can actually weaken the plant. Instead, focus on removing dead, diseased, or damaged growth and allow healthy leaves to continue supporting the plant. A thriving summer garden isn't created by fighting against the summer, it's by working with it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more gardening tips weekly. Be sure to let us know in the comments what summer plant are you having success with, or what could you do better next year.